Hello, this will be part two of the TSI math exam 4. So let's just finish off. So let's start off question 27. So question 27 says, a basket has two types of fruits, apples and oranges. There are two types of apples for every five oranges. If there are 35 oranges in the basket, how many apples are there? So just reading this, I know it's a proportion. Um, it's a proportional problem. So how we will set up a proportion and set it up like this. And then you can set it any way you like, but you're just gonna make sure the units are lined up to the right. So we're dealing with apples. So you put apples here, and then oranges here, and then over here, apples there, here. So there are two apples for every five oranges. So two apples for every five oranges. And then over here, there are two apples. There are a total of 35 oranges. So you put 35 here. And then they're asking how many unknowns. So that would be our unknown. So you have to have one unknown. If you have more than that, you can't do, you did something wrong. So then what I'm going to do is cross multiply. So it's going to be 5x equals to 2 times 35, 2 times 35. So 5 divided by 70 divided by 5 is 14. Oh, so yeah, let's see. April sells golden apples for $1,500 a piece. If she sells 25 apples in a single weekend, how much did she collect? So it's just going to be 25 times by 1,500. That's it. Okay, so when you do that, I get 37500. Okay, so that would be letter D. Okay, this one, find the distance between these 2 points, 3 comma 7 and negative 1 comma 10. So this is x1, y1, x2, y2. So you just need to know the distance formula. So distance is going to be square root of x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. Okay, so the reason why I labeled that is because I don't get confused. So what's my x2? It's going to be negative 1 minus my x is 3 squared, and then my y2 is 10 minus my y1 is 7. Negative 1 minus 3 is negative 4 squared. 10 minus 7 is 8. That's 3 squared. Negative 4 squared is 16 plus 9, which is 5. Okay. Which of the following solutions correctly graph the following compound inequality? So you have x is less than 36 and x is greater than 4. So larger number on the right, 36, and smaller number to the left. 36 is an open circle. It's going to move to the left. And then 4 is a dark circle. Move it to the right. So it looks like it's letter A, right? Okay, and right triangle, length of one leg is 3 units and the length of the other leg is 4. What is the tangent of the acute angle opposite of 3? So here you have a right triangle. One of your leg is 3 and one of your leg is 4. Um, let's figure out what the hypotenuse is. You can definitely do Pythagorean theorem, 2 squared plus 4 squared equals c squared, but I automatically know that it's a special when it's a 3, 4, 5. So if you solve for c, it's going to be 5. Okay. Then what they want is what is the tangent? So if you go back to SOHCAHTOA, tangent is opposite over adjacent. Then we got to figure out what is the tangent of acute angle opposite of 3. So what angle do you use? Is it this one or this one? I'm going to say, right. So we're going to do, it's going to be this angle right here. So this angle is technically the acute angle. It's definitely acute because it's less than opposite of the leg 3. So so now we'll do tan, and you don't have to use X. You can use whatever letters you want, which is, and then you just do opposite or adjacent. So my opposite is 3, and then my adjacent is 4. And what is a tangent? What is a tangent of the acute angle? They want the angle, so how do I get, they want this, so I'd have to multiply both sides by tan inverse. So you get x equals tan inverse of 3/4. So if you put that in the calculator, that's about 0.75. What is it? Okay, this one we have a right triangle, we have uh two known legs, we have a leg 4, we have a 5, and then we have this angle. They want to know what is sine theta. So it's a right triangle, so you're definitely going to use SOHCAHTOA. And yeah, so sine is theta is opposite right. So what is my, here's angle, my opposite is 4. And we gotta find the hypotenuse. So it is not a 3, 4, 5. I gotta do it Pythagorean real quick. So it's gonna be 4 square plus 5 square equals c squared. Then calculator, that's 41 equals c squared. Take the square root, c square root 40. So what is the sine theta? Sine theta is instead of hypotenuse. So opposite is 4, and then the hypotenuse is 40. So I see it right now. I guess they didn't rationalize it, but if you see your answer, it's the one. This one, what is graph, which of the graph below represents y equals 2 cosine of 3x? So what you need to know is, or what would be helpful is finding the max, min, midway, and then the period. So we don't have a vertical shift. So my max is related to the absolute value 2. So my max is 2. My min is -2. And my midline is the average. So it's 2 plus -2, 2. And then my period is 2 by b. What's my p value? 3. So which one of these graphs has a max of 2? I know the -2 and midway 0. And a period of 2 pi over 3. So in a cosine, the x value always should be your max. So I think it's this one. Because at 0, our max is 2. And then at midway 0, and then our minimum is -2. And then it just repeats the cycle. So that's why I think it's A. Let me go down and check B. Oh no, B's off because our max is 3. That's right. Our max has to be 2. What about C? No. The reason why it's a no on C because at 0, it has to be at your max. At 0, it goes right exactly through the one, which is not our max, right? Is it D? No. So I'm going to say A. What is the 34? What is angle theta? So what you need to know is you got to find this missing angle. If I knew this angle right here, I could find it by doing 180 minus that. But I don't know what this angle is, so I'll find it. So I know that this angle 113, and this was called this lens. It forms a straight line, and a straight line that always adds up to 180. So it's going to be 113 plus x equals 180. And then I'm going to subtract 113. You get x equals 180 minus 103, which is 67. Okay, so this angle here is 67 degrees. Now I could figure out this unknown angle, so it's basically 180 minus 88 minus 67. Okay, this 135 solve the equation. We have radical x plus 21 plus 5 plus 19. We'll just subtract 5 on both sides. So we get square root of x plus 21 equals to 17 minus 5, which is 12. Then you're going to square both sides. So we get x plus 29 equals to 144. And subtract 21. You get 144 minus 21, which is 120. Question 36. If sine theta equals to cosine theta, what do we know about theta? Um, I think it might be, we could test each one. So if theta is pi over 4, let's try the first one, pi over 4, and then cosine. Yes, that's true. Because the cosine pi over 4 is, sorry, sine of pi over 4 is right over 2, and then the cosine pi over 4 is right over 2. They're the same. But when you do negative pi over 4, uh, that's off. There's negatives, right? What about B? I don't think so. Because pi over 4 and pi over 2 are different. What about C? I know pi over 4 works, but what about 3 pi over 4? So where's 3 pi over 4? It's right here. It has an x value of negative radical 2 over 2 and y value of radical 2 over 2. So the sign of that is positive radical 2 over 2. The cosine, yeah, um, I think it has to be d. Um, yeah, 5 pi over 4. Yeah, it's d. Because they're both going to give you a both. Um, yes, they're going to work. So I'm going to say d. 37, what is the arc length of 60 degrees in a diameter circle? So imagine having a circle. Um, Here you have an angle that's 60 degrees, and they give you so what is the arc length? So arc length is S times R times theta. And it's just some formula you need to know, right? Do we have the radius? No. We have a diameter that's 6, but we could find the radius by taking half of whatever the diameter, which is 3. So it's going to be 3. And then do we have the theta? We do have the degree, but they want it in radians. So what is 60 degrees in radians? So if you don't know, if you forgot your unit circle, how do you convert a degree to a radian? All you got to do is multiply by pi over 180, and you get 60 pi over 180. And then try to reduce. So this is going to be 6 pi over 18. Divide this by 6. That's going to be pi over 3. Okay, so replace theta by 3, and then you're left with pi. Okay, that's it. Okay, this one, what is the surface area of a cube? So what do they mean by surface area? They mean take the area of everything. So what do we know about the cube? In a cube, there are 6 faces, and each face is a square. And what do we know about a square? Is the area of a square is s times s, or side times side. And they tell us one of our side lengths is 5, so it's going to be, so one face of an area is 5 by 5, which is 25. And then you multiply it by 6, which is 25 times 6 is 150. So it's B. 39, simplify the fourth root of 240. So this is not a perfect fourth root, so you're going to have to break it down. So what two numbers multiply 240? It could be any number you like. So I could do 2410. And then keep on going until you get your prime number. So 10 can be broken down as 5 and 2. 24 can be broken down as 6 and 4. 4 can be broken down as 2 and 2. 6 could be broken down as 3 and 2. And then you circle your prime number. So you circle of your prime numbers, you circle pairs of 4. So, or I see a pair right here. So that's going to be 2, 2, 4, and then it's going to be the fourth root, and then you have 5 and 3 is 15. So that's why it's D. Okay, so recap, I did the prime factorization. So I go to my prime numbers, and of your prime number circle pairs of four. So I see a repeat of one, two, three, four, two of four times. So that two, and two just becomes two. And then inside is your leftover prime number. So my leftover prime number is five of three, which is 15. If the circle has a diameter of 8 centimeters, what is its circumference in area? So it's something you need to know. Circumference circle is two times pi times radius. And then the area of a circle is pi r squared. Do we have the radius? No, we have a diameter that is 8. The radius is half of that, which is 4. So it's 2 times pi and then 4. So that's going to be 8 pi. And then the area is pi, and then my radius is 4 squares. That's going to be 16 pi. So it's 8 pi and 16. Wait, this one here we have what is the length of the goat? So we have this, you see, we have two triangles. You have one main big triangle, and then you have the smaller triangle. What can you say about the bigger triangle? If you look at it very closely, see how they both have tick marks? Yeah, that means all their angles are congruent. And then if all angles are congruent, all sides are all sides are okay. So if you have all angles that are congruent, all sides are congruent. So if you look at what's this length, it is a total of 8 plus 5, which is 10, 11, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So that each side is 13. And then if you look at this triangle right here, this is 5, this is 5, and this should, as you can see, so if this is congruent, that means that these two angles are also congruent. That means that this side is 5, this is 5. So you could have just looked at that and figure out its speed. You can also set it up as a proportion. You could do, this could be the larger triangle, this could be the smaller. The larger triangle, it would be, you could do leg over hypotenuse. And on the smaller triangle, the one with the cow, you do leg, hypotenuse. So on the larger triangle, the one of my leg is 13, and then the hypotenuse is also 13. The smaller triangle, uh, one of my leg is 5. I don't know what, or one of my leg is 5, but I don't know what the hypotenuse is. I'll call it x. So if you cross multiply, it's going to be 13x equals to 5 times 13. And then 5 times 13 is 65. Divide this by 13. So 65 over 13 is 5. So that's y speed. Okay, question 42. The world record speed of a bullet train is 375 miles per hour. At this speed, how many miles would the train travel in 4.5 hours? So this is a distance problem, so you need to know this formula. Distance equals rate times time. And they're asking you how many miles. So they're asking for D. So the good news is we don't have to isolate any letters before we start because it's already, we want distance, right? So all we gotta do is fill in our blanks. So my rate is 375 miles. And then times it by 4.5 hours. And then as you can see, the units of hours is meters, and then you're left with, so 375 times 4, 6, 8, 7, 5. So see. This one, 43, the convergent formula from degrees Celsius to degrees, convergent formula from degrees Celsius to degrees Fahrenheit is given by the linear expression below. If you see on the feet, it is 25 degrees Celsius in Marseille. How hot is it in Fahrenheit? So what they're saying is, if you use this formula, you're going to get your degrees in Fahrenheit. So all you got to do is fill in the blanks. So it's 9/5, and then my C is 25. It's 32. And you put that in calculator times 25 divided by 5 is 32. That is 77 degrees. So it's 77 degrees Fahrenheit. Given the equation of this, where A and B are real numbers, which of the following must be true? So what I would do is just do it, just FOIL it out, see what you get. So on the left, what's negative 14/5 times 20? So if you call 14/5 to multiply fractions, you multiply across, not crisscross, right? So that would be negative 14 times 2. That's negative 280 divided by 5. Again, negative 56. And then negative 4/5 times negative 3. Negative 35 is um, is more. What I could have done is do the inner parentheses first. That's what I should have done. So let's do that first. What's 20 minus 35? It's negative 15. So it's negative 14. A, 3, and then do simplify this. What's negative 14? It's negative 15. Here, 7/9 plus 1, or 9/9, right? 1 is the same thing as 9/9, so that would be 16. Right? So that's 16, 9, and you have the spool. So what's 3 times 16? Divide that by 9. 3 times 16 is 8. So is it A equals B? I don't think so. Is it B? Is B greater than A? So that B does not equal 0. I think so. Uh, I think it has to be C. A cannot equal to B. So I'm going to try C. As long as they're not the same, I mean, there's impossible. I mean, yeah, I don't think they can be the same. So yeah, I'll try that one. This one, what is the equation of line that passes through the point negative 1, comma 3 and it's a 4/5? So you're going to use this equation y equals mx plus b. And they tell us a few stuff. They tell us the slope is already 4/5. So that's good. Sometimes they don't give it to you. So it's going to be 4/5 x plus b. Now I don't know what my b is. So this is where I'm going to plug in this point. So replace my 1, 3. Replace my x with negative 1 plus b. So this is going to be negative 4/5 plus b. We're gonna multiply everything by 5, so that's gonna be 15 equals to -4. 5 times b is 5b. 4, 4, that's 19 equals 5b. Divide this by 5, get b equals 19 fifths. So your final answer is going to be y equals 4/5 x, and my b is 19 fifths. Yep, there you go, C. Okay, so step 46, solve the absolute value. We have the absolute value 3x plus 9 is less than or equal to 27. So the first thing I would check is make sure there's nothing near the absolute value. If there is, you got to get rid of it. And then the second thing I'm going to check is to make sure this number is positive. If it was absolute value of 3x plus 9 less than or equal to -27, that's automatically a no solution. So you have to make sure this is positive, and you also have to make sure there's nothing near the absolute value. Then you can write out your two inequalities. So the first one is 3x plus 9 is less than 7. The other one is 3x plus 9. Flip the sign and then make it -27. And then go and solve for x. So you subtract 9. Yeah, it's less than or equal to 27 minus 9 is 18. Divide this by 3. Get x is less than or equal to 6. And over here, let's subtract the means of 9. -27 is 36. Divide this by 3. 86. Okay, so those are my answers. That is the same thing as this one, right? Remember, this is always backwards. This part right here is the same thing as x is greater than or equal to -12. Okay? So, yeah. What they want you to do is just simplify. So go ahead and simplify. So we have parentheses. Always check if we can simplify the inner parentheses. We have 8 minus 4x squared, x plus 6 squared. No, we can't. Um, Let me simplify that. Then let's see what we get. So -8, -4 times 8 is -32. -4 times -4 is +16 squared. 1/2 times x is 1/2 x. And then 1/2 times 64 is it's 32. Then what I would do is, no, I would just combine my terms. So start with highest power. You have a -17x squared and a 16x squared. That is -1x squared. And then what about our x's? We have x and 1/2 x. That is 4/2 x, which is really 2x. And then you have the -32. 32 cancels. So it is -2x. Over here, find the system. Okay, last one. System equations, solve for x and y. I'm just going to do elimination and probably going to get rid of the y. So I'm going to have to multiply the second equation by -4. Okay, so the first one I haven't done. So just rewrite the first equation. The second one, FOIL out this 8/4, so it's 8y. Oops, I should use positive. 8, 4 times -2 is -8. 4 times -7 is -28x. 4 times 18 is 2. So this cancels, your luck goes away, goes to 22 minus 15. 57. Oh, you have a problem. Is this a true or false statement? It's definitely false. If it's a false, it's no solution. If it were true, it would be infinitely eight. Yeah, so it's no because it's a false statement. Yeah, let me see my score because I would never won't give you the wrong answer. So we're gonna just test it, but I'm pretty sure I got it all right because I did this one. I did those four hands. Just in case I make a mistake. Okay, good. We got it all right. So if you need to watch that video again, go ahead and rewatch. So this is a TSI math exam 4. This is the last part. Okay, I'm gonna stop here.